Good afternoon, garden friends. Today I am going to be getting started on my seeds. A lot of the plants that I have stayed 4 to 6 weeks to get them started prior to our last frost. And that gives me actually a little bit more time because today is January 19th. So that I can go ahead and get my seeds started. Now I am doing some of my regular seeds, but I'm also doing some new ones that I've never done before. So, I'm excited about that. A lot of these I got the other day when I was at Home Depot, and then some I had ordered through the mail. So a couple of new ones that I'm going to be doing is lavender. Because of my romantic courtyard, one of the things that just doing some research, lavender is definitely a romantic flower to have in your garden. And these guys will get, let's see here, 18 to 24 inches tall. Now these guys, I am thinking or entertaining to put them in pots. The lavender is something that I'm going to be growing. The other thing that I've never done is alyssum. These guys will get 4 to 6 inches, and I so love the fact that this here is a multicolored alyssum, and it's the pastel carpet mixed color. I think that's gonna also be something that'll look good in the garden. In preparation for my vegetable garden, I am also starting with some chives, because just with some research that I've been doing, because I don't like to use insecticide, I want to try to have things in my vegetable garden that will deter those pesky bugs. I'm also doing Lux Part, the Imperial Mix. Isn't that gorgeous? And these guys will get 3 feet tall. And they like, let's see here. I think it's full sun to part shade. And they come in shades of pink, blue, rose, lavender, and white. And then they bloom in the late spring. Because one of the things that I am trying to do, because just me tracking my garden, when we get to late fall, I really don't have color, and I'm trying to make sure I have color in my garden. The other is lupine. I did lupine 2 years ago. The greenery happened, but I did not get any plants. So I'm kind of hoping that I will have better success with these guys. The other new one is the Canterbury bells. These guys get 30 inches. And of course, and these guys bloom in the spring time. So I thought those would look very pretty in the garden. Another one is Delphinium. This is the perennial, and this is the Emerald Pacific mix, and then I got the Magic Fountain mix dwarfs. And these guys will get 3 to 4 foot tall, and then these guys get 2.5 to 3 feet tall. One of the things that I'm trying to do in the garden, in the back area, is have a little bit more height, because even though I have my roses and my hydrangeas, I want to be able to have color and add some additional layers in the garden bed. And then this is new, the Texas Blue Bonnet. These guys will get 10 to 15 inches tall. I'm really excited about this because I think it's just so pretty. And these guys will bloom. Let me see here. Let's see here. Oh, it doesn't say, but this is a hardy annual. So I'm kind of hoping here in Georgia, this will end up being successful. Got some foxgloves that I'm going to do. And this here, it says, and these are, what are they? Biannuals. I think that's what it said it was. And then of course, oh, my dwarf sunspots, you know, that I am excited about. And then I found another sunflower. This is a dwarf incredible, and these guys get 2 feet tall. Like I said, I don't care for the really, really tall ones, and I really don't like steak and stuff, you know, so I like them to be able to grow on their own. Now, something else that I am trying, I got these from Seed and Needs, Shirley double blend poppies, and you don't have to go ahead and pre-pot these up. I'm gonna just go and start sprinkling them in my garden areas because I think poppies are so beautiful, and these guys will get 12 to 30 inches. I have an idea of where I want to put them, but I want to try these guys out. So those are a couple things that I am going to be getting potted up today. I got my potting soil already done, and guys, I tell you, you know, because I don't have my greenhouse yet, to keep those gnats down, I end up pouring boiling water on the soil to, you know, possibly kill any type of larvae or whatever the gnats' eggs end up having, so that my house is not encompassed by the gnats. So a couple other things, my bulbs that I'm going to get started, and get my vernacular soaking today, so those guys will be ready, and then get the 2 sets of dahlias that I am going to be potting up to get prepared to go out in the garden after the last frost. So let's go ahead and get this stuff done. Okay, so the one thing that I am doing differently is I'm actually using this corrugated board that's biodegradable, because one of the things that I find that sometimes when I'm ready to transplant, you know, and have to try to dig the plants out, even when I'm moving them to a bigger pot, it ends up disrupting it. So I figure it would probably be smart to have these biodegradable seed starters, and then when I transplant them into a bigger pot before I bring them out, I'll just cut them so that it makes it real nice and easy for me to put them in a bigger pot. All right, so let's go ahead and at least get these guys filled first. Okay. So nice and fluffy. And as you know, the soils should not be soaking wet, just nicely moist. And then once I get these guys filled, I'll tap them down a little bit and start putting the seeds in here, and then lightly cover and put the lids on them. But one thing that I forgot to do is I had seen somebody had, even with the potting soil, they filter it out, so you don't end up having any type of pieces that'll keep the seeds from busting through. But this was some good soil, and I don't see a lot of big pieces in here that would end up impacting the seeds coming up. You know what I think one good thing about these containers too is for holding moisture, you know, not getting dried out. So I'm kind of hoping that is a valid win. And I think what I'm going to do is, because I do have another tray, but they are the plastic ones, that I'm going to go ahead and get the perennials in here, and then do the annuals in the other containers that I have. All right, guys, so let me go ahead and get this knocked out. All right, guys, I had to come in the house because aside from the rain, the temperature was like extremely cold. But I'm gonna go ahead and get finished with potting up my seedlings. And the one thing that I want to show you guys is because poppies require stratification, and who would have known that we would have been having this crazy weather that we're having, to where I could have just put these outside. But I'm going to try this new technique that I saw someone do on, I think it was Instagram, to assist in the stratification, to where I'm gonna put some soil in an ice tray, put the poppy seed on top, and then put it in the freezer so that it gets its stratification. And then what I'll do is, once the temperature breaks past our last freezing day, then I'm just gonna drop the ice cubes in the area that I want to have the poppies growing. Now I do have another pack in the refrigerator because I'm going to actually be trying out both. So let's go ahead and get these poppies set up, because I'm also using another type of seed starter that the domes have the lights already in them. So let's go ahead and get this filled up. Whoops. And I'm excited to see how this ends up working, you know, because the one thing with the poppy seeds is you really don't cover them up. So I'm just going to put the seeds right on top of the soil. Let me bring my camera down so you can see. Let me see if I can get that just a little bit lower. Okay, let me see, let's take it back here. All right, let me just take it back here and try this out. So hopefully this will end up working. You know, that's the one thing I do love about gardening, is finding different techniques that individuals use. And like I said, because it is not normal for us to have long periods of cold weather, I think this will end up working out well. And these seeds are like so tiny. So let me, ooh yeah, these seeds are tiny. You know what, I think I'm just gonna sprinkle them on top, and hopefully they end up, you know, taking. Because I know just putting them outside, you just sprinkle them out in the area that you want them to be. So the soil is already wet, so I'm not going to worry about watering these guys. I might spritz them beforehand, so before I put them in the freezer. So those guys are done. I also want to be able to do some of my old faithfuls, you know. I'm going to be doing my zinnias, both in the giant double enchantress, wait a minute, enchantress, the giant double canary bird. These guys were always successful. I'm going to do some triple berry scabieusis. The lupine, I'm actually going to do this technique that I also saw somebody do, where they, for winter sowing, I'm going to try it, putting these in a Ziploc bag for those. And then definitely some gumfarina, because gumfarina seems to, ooh, tell me I got some seeds in here. Oh, just a few. I think I might have another package out in the garden. And then, of course, my cosmos are some of the things. Oh my goodness, I am low on my seeds. No wonder Johnny seeds have been hitting me up, okay? They know I've been, past due. So let's go ahead and get these containers filled, and then I will take them upstairs, because that's what I'm doing, is storing them upstairs, because my greenhouse is not completed yet, but I didn't want to get any further behind the 8 ball of getting my seeds started. So we'll get those guys filled in, and so I can get this done. And then too, like I said, I'm really interested in how these containers work that have the lights already connected to them, because I had to be a little creative in the upstairs room for the other plants that I did, because we chose not to put the shelving up in the spare room. But I think it'll end up doing well, because I'm still using my heating mats, and also the grow lights. Okay, just making sure you got enough dirt in the containers. All right, let's bring it down, and we'll start with the zinnias first. And what I got, 3, 6, 9, 12. So I got 36. And while I'm hoping that, everything ends up taking, because we have extended a couple of the garden beds, I just want to be able to have stuff that will be blooming and me having color in the garden in the fall. But I know one thing that I have to do, one thing I have to do better on, is making sure that I'm cutting back so that it continues to produce. That seems to be my problem. And I think I'm going to put 2 in each of the cells, so that, I end up having more flowers. Okay, and I think I'm going to do the zinnias in one container with just the 2 colors. Okay, that's the yellow. Oops. One, 2. Oops, looks like I need to put another one in there. 2. Put some space in between them. Okay. All right, so that's the flower canary. Zinnia. Okay. I'll put those here. And then I'll put the other, the enchantress, on the other side. And I know last year, my zinnias was still doing good in October, but like I said, I was not cutting them back. And I'm gonna do a better job, because what I think I want to be able to do is, making cut flower arrangements. What's the use of having pretty flowers if you're not going to enjoy them outside of them being in your yard? Just gonna push them down into the soil. And then put some soil over top. Spritz some just a little bit, because these guys, the soil is already moist. Okay. Oops. That one there. Soil on top of there. Okay, those are done. And then let me just show you. These are the taller domes. And then these are the grow lights that you stick on top. Okay, and then it has a connector to where I think there's 5. And then you just use like a cell phone, a little, the big plug thing in here, and then I'll give these guys a set upstairs. So let me go ahead and get the rest of these done, and then I'm gonna take these guys up into the Paris room where they're going to be germinating, and I'll get back on once I get it all set up. Okay, so let's go into the Paris room, and we'll go over here first. Now, because I don't have any sunlight over here, this is the best spot for me to go ahead and place these guys with the grow lights already attached. So I'm really interested to see how this works out. And it's like just a backup, for the simple fact that if you don't have an area for grow lights, to use this. All right, so as I stated, because we chose not to take the rack out of my garden shed, I just improvised and put the grow lights on top of this one to make sure that it has enough lighting in it. And then I sort of did the same thing with my dahlias. Now, this area will get sun pretty much all day, but maybe what I'll do with these ones here, so that the tops don't get dried out, is during the day have the lights off and let the direct sun shine on them, because I do have the heating pads, you know, underneath here. So I can't wait until I get my greenhouse built to where all of this stuff can be in here. So, all right, guys, so I'm all done with the seeds that I'm going to start. Didn't do as many for the simple fact that I do not have my rack set up. That will come once my greenhouse is done. But, you know, I think it was ingenious as far as, you know, coming up with the workaround to make sure that my plants or my seedlings had the proper amount of lighting. So thank you again for visiting Inspiring Garden Corner, and I look forward to you checking out my next video.